Hey Flosstube, it's Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. Today is January 20th and I'm here to give you a Flosstube update. And this will be a two-part series. The first one will be me kind of talking about my Stitch 9 challenge, the hashtag that Michelle Rudy put out there. And the second part will be a whip parade. So last year I did a whip parade and it was an hour and a half. I mean, like I had to delete apps from my iPad or my tablet in order to upload the video. So I'm not striving to do that this time. So I thought I would break it into a couple parts. The first part I'll talk about Stitch 9, but I'll also talk about some stash enhancement here. So looking forward to spending some time with you guys. Let's talk a little bit about Stitch 9. When Michelle Farm Girl put that challenge out there, at first I was like, I don't know if I want to do this because I just got off my plans, right, of Blackbird designs for this year. And I was really looking forward to that. But then I thought, you know, I have some oldies, some old crusties, some whips that will never die. And so I just need to help put them to rest. And some of them are newer, but three of them are my oldest whips that I have. And they're beautiful. They're probably not my style as much now as they used to be. There's a couple of them that are Polyvons, but they're worthy of finishing. And so I thought about, is this a give up? Is this a completion? And I put too much time and effort into some of these to not finish them. So let's talk Stitch 9. The first one, and I started working on them. So the hashtag I think came out toward the beginning of January, and I picked up the first one, my Mirabilia Sabrina. It's a bridal conversion for my niece. This is stitched on 32 count Jubilant by Fantasy Dyed Fabrics. And I have worked on this portion, quite a bit of this here, and all of this here. So I've actually stitched quite a bit. And I did that mostly in a week. I picked this up again and I'm doing another week on it. And I think, honestly, I could probably finish this if I give it another good week's worth of work. I can do the stitching part. It was a lot of fun. I picked it up and I'm like, why have I not finished this? Well, it's because I want to start everything else in the universe. The fabric is sort of a very light yellow up here with some white, and then it kind of blends down into this aqua, which picks up some of the folds in the dress. I did start yesterday. I was working on this part down here, and I had started the pink. But I was watching a movie with my husband, and he always gives me a hard time because I'm like, who is that person? What's going on there? And he's like, you need to pay attention to this movie. And I'm stitching, right? So I try to pay attention to the movie because there are some subtitles. And then pretty soon I'm done, and I realize that I'm down 4 rows, and I had to rip about 200 stitches out. So too bad, so sad, my sweet. He never watches my videos. But probably be paying more attention to my stitching in the future, less attention to movie details. This is the pattern that I'm converting. So I hope to get the stitching part done because the stitching meetup at Acorns and Threads is the first Thursday of the month, and that will be coming up pretty soon in February. And then I can see what beads I need. I have quite a few beads. The beads that are called for obviously aren't going to work. They're black. And I had picked some for a conversion. I demoed them, and I really didn't like them at all. So I'm going to rethink my strategy, and I can do a little shopping when I'm down at Acorns and Threads. So that's number 1 of my Stitch 9 challenge. And I'm going to go to this other one that I worked on. This is my Teresa Wentzler English Cottage Sampler. Circa, when was this published? 1990 something? 1990. Circa 1990. I stitched this. I know I started this before I had kids. And my oldest son was born in 1995. Well, this is dated 1994. 1994. So I truly thought I was going to finish this. And I'm sure I probably started it like in 92. It is very blended thread heavy. Then everything is outlined. and you change colors constantly. So if you look at this border, you can see how many color changes there are, and everything is backstitched. So I have put in, I spent about a week on this. I finished this border down to here, and I'm working across. I need to do the lazy daisy stitches across. I finished the swans, and so I've got some back stitching of flowers. I need to fill this in, and then I really just need to do this, and I'll be done. But I had to put it down, like a week max on this. My stitching area looks like a floss grenade blew up because it's not, I have bobbin, all my DMC is bobbinated, and then the blended threads are, I just don't have a good method for it. They're kind of in a pile, and then the pile gets bigger, and then it looks like a dust bunny from the floor fell on your table, and so I just can only take a little bit of it. And this thing, so the DMC dye lots don't match. And I can see 503 on here. You can definitely tell the difference when you look in person. This thing is dirty. It's been carried around, so the floss, the stitching before is a little bit, when your flosses get handled, they sort of fuzz a little bit over time. So they're not as sharp and clean as the newly stitched stuff. But it's okay. It's sort of a journey piece. And if nothing in life, stitching is messy, and life can be messy. So I'm going to finish this. I might go kicking and screaming, but I'm going to finish it. So that is number 2. Number 3, and I haven't picked this. I'm dying to pick this one up. This is Snoody Parrots by Barbara Anna. And I'm going to show you the picture first. Snoody Parrots, lots of people working on this. I was stitching it as a cell with, who was working on this? Oh, Julie from Kansas City Girl in the Colorado World. I almost forgot that. And Michelle from the Striped Rose, they were working on this. Other people have stitched this. There's been stitch-alongs going on before we ever picked it up and started stitching on it, but this is as far as I am. I really just need to finish this part of the tree, and there's some motifs in here. And then the bottom band, which there's quite a bit of stitching in that bottom band. There's the house and a couple trees. This is on 46 count. I think it's light exemplar. And it's beautiful material, and it's a big sampler, but on 46 count it seems like it's manageable, and it'll go on my sampler wall that I'm building. This is a pleasure to stitch on. The colors are beautiful. Colors are gorgeous on this. So that is number 3, Barbara Anna, Snoody Parrots. You should see this table that I'm working off of. I tried to film this yesterday, and it was too late in the day. The lighting was terrible. And I don't know what happened, but when I was filming, about 10 minutes in, there was a glitch. And so then my computer stopped. It went for a little bit longer than it stopped. When I went back, it was like all of a sudden I was speaking in a different language. My lips didn't match my words, and there was a significant delay. So I thought, well, maybe I can edit it, and forget it. I'll just start over tomorrow. So here we are. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4. Paula Vaughn, Friendship Quilts. So her stuff is not blended threads, but it's backstitch heavy. But there's sort of a peacefulness about her designs. I have one that I finished for my mom. I'll show it sometime. I don't think I've shown it before. And she gifted it back to me when she downsized. And I think I'll reframe it and remat it, because there's definitely the sort of 90s influence in the framing. In fact, I framed it myself. I took a framing class. But I do, just the colors and the gentleness of this, I love it. And I had to stitch the window area here, and then all of this on this side. So it seems like when you see this, you're like, wow, you're really close. You're almost done, but yeah, I still got a lot to do. And this is so old that I have masking tape on it. But I do have quite a bit done, and every time I pick it up, I'm like, oh. And I really want to work on some back stitching, because that's when this comes to life. This is really a joy to work on. And it's like, it's an even weave, probably 14 count. or 28 count even weave, and it's like an ivory color. This was on my whip list to work on in 2018, and I think I worked a little bit in squirrel moment. I picked something else up. Okay, hit second. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5. Something Old, Something New by Paula Vaughn. This is my oldest whip. This is my first one that I ever stitched on linen. This is 1989. I'm sure I worked on this in college. And again, it seems like I have quite a bit done, but I still have to do the reflection in here and this whole window area and some stuff up here. So there's a lot done, but there's still quite a bit to go. And this one I definitely don't have as much open, border area of the fabric as I probably do now, but watching some other people talk about framing, I'm not too worried about it. I used to be freaked out when I saw it before. I was like, oh my gosh. And here's the thing. The backs of my old pieces are a thread mess. Now I'm a much neater stitcher on the back of my fabric. But back then, man, I'd leave a 1/2 inch tail and think nothing of it. And you sort of kind of massage it in, when you're framing to get it out of the way. But now I'm going to wash them when I'm done. Wash these, the 2 Paula Vaughns and the Teresa Wentzler. And I'm going to go back and make sure all the ends are good and snug, and then I'll snip some of the tails off. All right, so number 6 is a new start in December. This is for Nancy from the Addicted Sisters. It was her birthday sal. This is Little Pink Snowy Cottage by Nora Corbett. And if you see these in person, these are super sparkly, like super, super sparkly. And they're really not big patterns. They use all metallics, and I found that the right tools make a difference. So I had a bigger needle with the Krennic, and I used Liz from Country Stitches. You're going to be so proud of me. I used a needle threader because, quite frankly, getting a Krennic through a needle eye is, you got to use a needle threader. But I think it started to shred over time, and I think using the Krennic, you have to, I'm kind of thinking I might have to change my needle, because as you stitch and it moves in the inside of the eye, it may cause friction and create some, it doesn't glide as much. So this is on 32 count Jobelan, Nimu by Hand-Dyed by Stephanie. And this fabric is amazing. It's so pretty. And you guys, look at the sparkliness of that. Look at that. And so because it's not a very big design, it would fit entirely on my Q-snap. And I was able to bead as I went along. And I think that's probably the first time I've been able to do that. And I think some people do it, I just don't have confidence. So I love this. Again, I just need to do the other half of the building. So really this. And I would say this was about 1 week's worth of stitching also. So I think about another week and that will be done. And I tried to find, this is half of a fat quarter. So it's fat eighth. And I tried to get it so that I have multiples. I have several of these patterns in this series. I tried to get it so that I could get 4 on there, but they were just a little too big. So it really wouldn't have had enough border. And I wanted some of the fabric to show when I framed that one, because the fabric is really, really pretty. All right, so this is number 7. And where is my pattern? Oh, there it is. It's Berry Time by Blackbird Designs. And this is stitched on 32 count vintage buttercream. With the red that I'm using is Rose Garden by Gentle Arts. And this is such a vintage, fun stitch. I had a hard time putting this down when I was stitching on it, but it was in December when I started this, and I was doing some gift stitching. So I had to put it down, and I'm excited to pick it back up. It's a great break between some of the Paula Vaughn, Teresa Wensler backstitch projects. This is just straight up, you know, crosses. But look at the variety in those baskets. They all look different, but they definitely, you know, you have that monochromatic feel to it. Number 8 is this one I started the day after Christmas. Christmas Garden, because why would you start Christmas stitching before Christmas, right? This is on my year of Blackbird Designs plans, and you can, this pattern is in a sold leaflet. This is out of print, but it has been reprinted in the Home for the Holidays booklet. So you could certainly get that pattern if you buy the booklet, and that has the 'Tis the Season bird in it as well. So I'm stitching this on 40 count clay pebble by Silk Weaver. I picked this up when I went to the Flosstube New Jersey retreat, and this is as far as I am. This is a really pretty fabric. It's a little more variegated than what you're seeing, and I'm stitching this in silks. I picked the four Gloriana silks that match the overdyes, I believe she calls for in her pattern, in their pattern. And then I picked one more dark brown. So the colors in this chart are sort of medium value, and I wanted a little more contrast, so I picked a darker brown. And somebody on Instagram, I haven't posted it, they said, you know, this definitely looks more jewel tone than the Blackbird Designs call for threads, and that's true. This definitely, it has more contrast to it. The lighter brown will be the Christmas Garden lettering will be in the lighter brown, and then I'm going to put the lighter brown in like this other deer. I think I saw somebody else do that. That was a great idea. So here's an issue. I had one extra row in this motif, and you think I'm going to take that out? Heck no. Then I stitched all the way up here and around with the green on the border, and it didn't match because on these little motifs here, there's one extra stitch up here. And if you're not paying attention, if you're looking at the subtitles in the movie on TV, you're going to miss it, and I sure did. I'm being a little bit of a thread miser with this, so I'm trying to be careful, and I unpicked all of the silk to hold on to it. I'd rather not buy extra skeins if I could help it, because the Gloriana is kind of expensive. Not that I don't mind having silk, I just have a drawer full, and I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious about that. So the last one, you'll probably see in the next video. It's Early Americans, and I've finished 4 of them. There's Martha Washington. There is Molly Pitcher. There is the middle block of Bingo. Just kidding, just the middle block. And Nathan Hale. So I have one other one that's pretty far along, and then 4 more that are not so far along. They were Stitch Mania starts, and I did nothing with them for the rest of the year. So this is, I was looking for the rest of these, the ones that are not done, to show you, but they're probably in this pile of stuff that'll be in the whip parade. I'll run across it and I'll show you in the next video. So that's my Stitch 9 challenge. When I went through my whips yesterday, there's another, like, I could see a second hashtag. If I get through the Stitch 9, it'll be like Stitch the Next 9 challenge. Because there are some more that are pretty close, and there are some that I just, like hoity-toity, I would stitch on that all the time. I got throw all the rest of this in the bin, and I would just stitch on that. So let me show you some of the stuff that I've gotten in, and yeah, I've been bad, but that's okay. This is a new release by Stacy Nash. Is this not adorable? And I saw someone on Instagram, they already finished this stinking thing. But it looks, look at the house with the wreath on it. I just love it. And the gal with the bonnet on her head, and the border is amazing. Stacy Nash. This I picked up off of Stash and Load. This is no, I'm sorry, I picked this up off of eBay. This is Sarah Stewart by the Scarlet Letter. Oh my goodness, look at that. So this has, these trees here are free-handed. And you could do that. I think I probably will change what the trees look like. You stitch the cross-stitched part and then you go back and do the free-handed part. And that, honestly, that doesn't bother me. It's all satin stitch. So that isn't too difficult if you're sort of trying to pay attention to where the stitches are on the pattern, and it doesn't have to be exact. So I may redraw that. I don't remember if I showed you guys this last time. Mary McAllister. This is Needlework Press. Look at the cow. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I don't think I did show you. Somebody was showing this on either Instagram or Flosstube, and I love this border. It sort of looks like acanthus leaves. Very unique. And that cow, he's ginormous. It's like Paul Bunyan's cow. And the butterflies up top. I just love it. Lady Mirabilia. So Janine at Acorns and Threads, I had her hold this for me. And then I waited to buy it for a couple months simply because I had other things I wanted to buy first. But I bought this, and it has the bead pack also. And she said this isn't on their website. And now she said this a while ago. I don't know if it's just that Winchell hadn't put it up yet, but it may be sort of like the Lady of the Flag situation where if you don't buy it, they may not reprint it because it's a commemorative piece. It's 25-year celebration. So if you're on the edge of whether or not you're going to buy this, I would say buy it. Because you know what it's like. This is influenced by Misty Purcell purchase. This she mentioned Sugar Pink Boutique on Etsy. They have trims, and oh my gosh, you guys, super fast service. Look at this bow. Looks like cross stitch. Super fast service. All kinds of great colors. Look at the little snowflakes. Wouldn't that be pretty on a small? Some sort of Priscilla and Chelsea Priscilla-fied project. And I bought several velvet ribbons. So, fast service, I totally recommend them. Hold on. Oh, you guys. So, this has a story. Lynette from Homesteading on the Home Front IM'd me one day through Instagram. She messaged me and she's like, are you guys doing a sal, or do you have something that you're doing with Nancy at Victorian Mottos? And I was like, not on purpose, but maybe. I don't think so. And she said that Nancy put up a post on her blog about some new collections that she had. One was Primitive Stitcher and one was Kindred Stitcher. And so she said that someone else was messaging Suzette to see if Suzette was doing this. And we just figured out at the end of the day, Nancy just happened to pick the names. So, of course I had to buy it because A, Victorian Motto thread is just fantastic. And B, why would you not want a floss collection that's in your name? I mean, come on. So this is, let me make sure I get these right. This is the Kindred Stitcher collection. This is Round Robin. This is Kindred Stitching. Look at that blue. That's like a robin egg blue. That's so pretty. Stitching Parlor. It's sort of like endive. It's a little bit yellower than endive. Sewing Necessaire. Very pretty color. Stitching in Hand. These are very sampler-esque. Stitching Together colors. A Kindred Spirit. Sort of a sampler neutral color. From Me to Thee, this is a great sort of I imagine that would be like a skin tone. It's variegated. Fellow Stitcher, a great sort of like mulberry from Gentle Arts. Sewing Circle, nice brown. Kindred Soul. Oh yes, this green, gorgeous, and vintage stitching. These are showing up a little brighter than they are. This is a very, I would say, I could put this behind here, subdued palette. Almost as subdued as the Primitive Stitcher. So this is Sewing Notion, a nice sort of a alabaster with just a tint of green, maybe. Antique Embroidery. Quilting Bee. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Such a pretty color. Primitive Stitching. Nice neutral brown. The Dressmaker. Sort of a dark salmon color. And Prairie Stitching, same color, just a little bit lighter. Pioneer Stitcher. Sewing Bobbins. Vintage Quaker. Now look at that. Oh my gosh. Prim Stitcher. Colonial Stitching. And Hearthside Stitching. This is kind of a brick red. So, holy cow. And then on the 12 Days of Christmas, I think it's 12 Days of Christmas that Nancy does. She is a very generous business owner and gives away a lot of good stuff. And I won some fabric. It is her fabric, you guys. Holy cow. Look at this. She sent me a fat half of 40 count. I could not believe it. And I don't have a name for it, but it's like, you could always ask her if you wanted to order some. Look at the movement. This sort of is like a soft version of Legacy. And these colors on it, I mean, I squealed. I could not believe it when it came in the mail. So Nancy from Victorian Motto, God bless you. I so appreciate you. Amazing. I know this is, like, I have a lot of stuff left to show you guys, but some people like stash. I'm sorry if you don't, but some people do. This is Elizabeth Pritchard by R&R Reproductions. Yes. Look at the little sheep on the meadow down below in the little barn. And the Quaker sun, or the, on the birds. Oh my gosh. Cute. Love it. And I'm a Moira Blackburn fan. So this is Truth. I think this is True and Beauty. What is this one called? Bankfield. Wrong. Bankfield. That border. Amazing. And that house. This says, love looks not with the eye, but with the mind, and therefore is a winged Cupid painted blind. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its lovingness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but still keeps a bower quiet for us. Bankfield. So pretty, and that one's still available. I do love me some Blackbird quilts. And in here, there's an awesome applique quilt. I intend to work on applique this year. But here's a punch needle. Look at that. Or rug hooking. That's beautiful. You could punch needle that. There is a great, oh please, projects. Sampler. Americana sampler. This book, I think I paid like $5 for it. It was hardly anything on Amazon, I think. And this says it's sheep straw. I have a feeling that these colors aren't as vibrant in person as they are in this particular picture. But I love that. Several people have shown this. This is an amazing book. I think I blame this on Michelle, Farm Girl. She showed it. There's I really like this. Wool applique, and I have a couple of wool applique projects that I have ready to go. And Lori Textilist, she mentioned to me that there's a local group of people who do wool applique once a month. So I'll probably join that. Here is a wool applique project that I picked up from Carriage Country Quilt. I think that's what it's called. It's up by the airport near Seattle. Nutmeg hair. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tunes without the words and never stops at all. Emily Dickinson. Look at that. You guys, I just need to quit my job. I need to find time to stitch all the time. I finished out my buying the Prairie Schooler months, May, August, July, and I have September somewhere as well. Pick those up. I got this Sandra Stitches. I think that was, she's an online store. She had a sale last month, 25% off, so I picked up Lady Justice by Nora Corbett. And the Houses of Hot Crown Hollow. So one day when I'm crazy, and I love stitching houses, but this might be a little much. It's okay, except for the ones that are really dense, like this one will take forever. This is a club kit. Scarlet House, the Dying to Stitch ladies. This is which club is this? I got it in December. It's not Plant Ladies. It's not. Hold on. Colonial Gatherings. Now this club in particular is being discontinued, but they have two others that they're starting. One is a collaboration with Paulette Stewart and Beth Twist from Heartstring Samplery, and that is called Kindred Spirits. And then there's Erica Michaels' Strawberries Club. And I wasn't sure about that one then, but when I see her, I saw a trunk show of the strawberries that she has designed at the New Jersey Flosstube Retreat at this shop there. Gosh, I can't remember the name. Needle Crafter's Delight. I'm not sure if I said that right, but the berries are amazing. They are beautiful. Moira Blackburn, a Scottish sampler. And I will love thee still. Look at the border on that. It's like honeysuckle. The colors are pretty simple on this. Looks like she charted it for DMC. So it'll be pretty economical to stitch. I think I got this off of Stash and Load. Acorn Sampler Sewing Case by With My Needle. Elizabeth Vintage Stitches. I think she showed this and I was like, I gotta have that. It says, may Santa's spirit of love be with you in this new millennium, but they have it also charted for, instead of new millennium, it says Christmas. And yeah, this has quite a bit of back stitching on it, but I think it's just the top half. And they sent a free chart with it. Here's September. Here's Shakespeare's Peddlers, Weeds Make Haste. Super cute. This is a pull out of a magazine, and I saw it and I thought, yes, and I'm going to change the colors completely. I did buy some silks that were on Stash and Load too. Those are Glorianas. And Carol Saltbox Stitchers has this hanging on her wall, so yeah, I had to go buy that off of eBay. Stacy Nash. I love Stacy Nash. My stitching book. Praiseworthy Stitches Yellow House Sampler. Look at that. And this has a weather vane that's a rooster on it. So I love, and that border's awesome. All right, and the last one. Oh, I'm sorry, Ann Peg by the Scarlet House. Colors are fantastic in that. And so this is my really, I had a bad month, but I have wanted to stitch Anne Rayner for probably a year. And I messaged Teresa Vanette because she's really on a pursuit to find as many of the reproduction samplers and put on her site as she can. And she said this one's just not going to be, it's very unlikely it'll come back into production. So there, it is what it is. There's only so many copies of this, and when Nicole's Needlework started showing this, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to stitch it. So I have a safe search on eBay, and it never came up, and I happened to find one the other day, and it was on for 7 days, and of course all the biddings, you know, 5 minutes before the ends really started. So I had to commit to what I really would be willing to pay, and know that this will probably hold its value once I'm done stitching it and put it back up on the website. But this is Ann Rayner by Threads Through Time. And Paulette has a conversion of this on her site, Paulette from Plum Street Samplers, and the people, this is such a charming piece. I can't wait to stitch it. So, and guess who I got it from? Arlene Cohen. It was her pattern, so thank you for selling that, Arlene. So this is my video about the crazy month of stash haul that I had and the plans for the Stitch 9 challenge. Stay tuned for video 2. That'll be my whip parade. Thank you all for watching.